start. Why not? Everything's hooked up. I'll just start. We're starting on this screen for a good reason. We're not going to play after my dismal performance in not Tetris. We're going to continue not playing Tetris. We're going to play Sand Tetris. Um, Let me grab the link though for everybody. Put this up here. An announcement. And hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. This is the part before we actually start the stream, where I play not Tetris usually, but in this case, we're gonna play Sand Tetris, and I'm gonna have to remember how to play. Again, I find this version much more vexing than regular Tetris. I feel like I've already screwed things up. I mean, you don't really have to. I mean, it's wrong of me to say that you don't have to think as hard, but like, okay, sweet. That's good. We'll start there, and then we've got another green one coming up, and then another blue one. Let's see if I can get this green one to stretch across over everything. Oh, wait, no, let's do that. Ah, oh, shoot. Okay, well, this down here, this over here. There's not a lot of need to like flip things around in Sand Tetris, in my understanding. I mean, you can definitely. Oh right, because later you get like special blocks that don't bend as much, that don't collapse as hard, so that does make a difference. Also, with something like this, I guess I can do that. Oh shoot, I was thinking that would yeah. And this is another like weird version of Tetris that does not have like any way to save a block for later, which is kind of an important feature of regular Tetris. It adds quite a bit of strategy to it, but that I don't use because I'm not good at Tetris. Oh shoot! No! Oh, I didn't want that to cover that. Okay, we've got that. Let's see if we can collapse that over there, and then we get that, and then we get that. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, no, there's not nearly as much to Sand Tetris as there is to regular Tetris or not Tetris. I feel like, and that's not an indictment of the game, because I feel like half of the point of this is that it's just Tetris, but with the satisfying like powder game aspect. Yeah, and I mean, I get you don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating, gets everywhere. I totally understand that. I'm right there with you. Okay, and then we're gonna collapse this, and we are like I feel like I have a strategy here, and the fact that there are only 4 colors is working out in my favor. And I actually am dumb because I could have done better than that. Let's do this, that, and then this. This is also, what, this is the only Tetris version that cares about color. Which is not to say that it is racist Tetris, but, you know, just something to consider. Oh, shoot. This is actually kind of going poorly. You need like a few things in a row to really make it work. Okay, we got that. Oh, okay, and now I can destroy that, and then... Oh, okay, I guess that doesn't... Oh, you know what? I should have piled that off to the side. Yeah, I could have thought about that a little bit more. I feel like this is going to last me quite a while, this game. And this is not going to be a regular thing. This is not going to be a regular thing. We're not doing Sand Tetris every time. I understand that there are also other versions of Tetris. I don't know how many of them that you can play in a browser. Maybe one of these days I should throw people for a loop and just actually play Tetris. But I'm also not sure, like, how I would do that. I feel like I'm actually rather lucky that this is playable in browser, and I could have made a line with that. Because otherwise it might have just been too much effort. Oh, that worked. Sweet. Um, when's the next time April Fool's Day falls on a Thursday? That's a good question. Alright, do this, and then this, and we'll just string it out as far as we can. And then this, if I drop it over here, it should collapse all the way to that. Put this right here, and then... Oh, that's actually less than ideal. Yeah, we might be at this for a little while. Why? Because I'm just so good at it. Because I'm so good at it. 2027 is when I play regular Tetris, yeah. Wonder what life is going to be like in 2027. Oh shoot, I did not want to do that. I've actually kind of cooked it. I've cooked it. There we go. Okay. Okay. The original Game Boy game, yeah. And how pray tell, do I get that into OBS? Hey, Trade Street. We're doing something a little different today. Alright, let's do that, and that should hit that, and yeah, that's still not very helpful. So we have a nice big pile on the bottom that is not doing us any favors at all. What to do next? I just gotta, like, build across. Well, this can go over here, and then this can go there. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, I screwed that one up. We're gonna need some greens. We're gonna need to eat our greens. Oh, no. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! 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 Instead of doing classwork, do your classwork, goddammit. It is fun, and I remember going on cool math games as a kid, but only after I finished my classwork. I'm not a great example. I did go around and I did like carry a laptop through my entire schooling career, and if it weren't for that, you know, if it weren't for that, I might not have become the writer I am. And that's not to say that I'm very good at it, but it's to say that I have done a lot of writing. So without that, maybe we wouldn't have had the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Me carrying a thing around. I'm surprised that Cool Math Games even works, because, you know, Flash Player and all that, and I wasn't paying attention. I should have used that. Good evening, comrade. Oh, shoot. Shoot, Mew is right. That's not very club presidential behavior. Oh, shoot. Alright, 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 alright. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. What is technically not connected? Is it right here? Ah, it's right there. Okay. Alright. What is this? Where has not Tetris gone? Well, I hope you can clearly see that this is not Tetris. I figured after our absolutely abysmal performance in Not Tetris last time, I oh shoot. I might as well try something a little bit different. And this is not the first time that I've played Santris. Santris. But I've only played it, I think, one other time. I'm sort of waiting for the other shoe to drop because I know there's other stuff that happens. Also, look at how absurd our score is. Look at it. Absolutely bonkers. Alright, let's do that. Let's connect those. I'll put this over here so it just, like, sinks into the ground there. This, and then that is the first time I'm doing that. Standing something on its end. Put that over there. Put this right here. Okay, cool. Stuff's coming down kind of fast, kind of heavy at this point. Those two technically are not connected. Merger Mania rules do not apply. Okay, this is going poorly. And we still haven't got, like, the ones that don't move as much, which is a little weird. Because I remember those vividly, because they slump so weirdly. This is gonna be it. We're gonna run out of beans here in a minute. Yeah, no, Tetris should not be about hoping for something of the same color to come down, which is what I feel like this has rapidly turned into. That, and then we'll put this over here, and then we can probably put that over there, and I'm almost not having enough time to actually put anything anywhere. Oh, man! I thought I was going to be able to burn that with the rest of them. Oh, no! Okay, put that right there. Put this right here. Put this over here, and then we get a long one. Can I have a long one, please? Right there. There. Oh, that doesn't count! It didn't count! It didn't count! Can I please have that? Thank you! This. And this. Yeah, I don't know why we aren't... Did I put in, like, the wrong parameters for the game? I don't remember there being, like, a menu. Because there was something else to this. I swear, there was something else to this. There were blocks that didn't slump completely. And I feel like I'm not going crazy when I say that. Well, I feel like I am going crazy because I'm not seeing them. Yeah, if the line is too thin, it doesn't count. The pixels have to be touching on more than just one, more than just the corner. This, that, put that over there, this over here. Yes. No. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm past the end of my rope. I think we're done. I can't. No. 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 All right. It's full. Am I thinking of Jelly Tetris? I might be. But I thought that was the first time that I played Sand Tetris. My rank is 5335. Alright, well maybe someday we'll improve upon that. Let me stop sharing my screen. We'll go back into staging here. This is where we were last time. Okay. I don't have our unsponsored soda sponsor right yet because Gloria is not home. When they get home, I will ask them to bring me a soda of their choosing. Okay. I need to do one more thing, which is to drop the stream link in the Trainz official Discord, and then we can get started. Videos. Route building. Stream live now. Boop. There we go. And those folks don't need to worry about. Don't need to worry about Tetris or not Tetris. Oh, you're going to Texas Roadhouse? Yeah, the bread is the only part that I really like, and I know like that's almost sacrilege when it comes to some people's like of Texas Roadhouse. Oh yeah, let's talk about that skew bridge. There's one up here. Is the one. This is the one that I was thinking of, and I almost used this asset again recently. It's one here in the what would be the canal portion. I'm realizing I never finished texturing this area. Oh, right, that's because it's hidden. Yeah, so this isn't even as skew as what I'm doing here, and I spent a lot of time, like, with splines to get this to line up right, like, lowering the wall and everything. Like, I spent way too much time trying to fit this bridge in. But this is a skew trestle. Now the thing with skew trestles and Trainz is making them as splines is not something that I would assume is easy. So a lot of them are, well, not splines. There are some skew arch bridge splines. I know those are around. I've seen them from time to time. But I haven't used one mostly because, well, one, you need a very specific skew. You need the skew to line up with the skew from the bridge. But also those bridges, like the line of assets that those bridges come from is not very detailed. So, you know, they're not very appealing assets to use. In a couple of places, I have built my own skew bridges using a whole buttload of splines. This is not one of them. This is a place where I could get away with just using a regular girder bridge. But down here, there are, I think, two places, maybe three, where we cross the river, where we cross the little stream here at a skew. And I decided it was easiest, so not that place. I decided it was easiest to build my own bridge, which this would be a girder bridge. It doesn't have enough deck. If I wanted to beef this a little bit, I would just add some girders either up top, which actually that's not a bad idea. I could add some girders, or I could add some beams down below. But right now, I think I'm just going to leave this as is. I think there is like a single girder spline, though. Oh, let's make sure we switch to the route layer before we do anything else, because that was what we were fixing last time. Yeah, girder bridge, kit side double girder. Let's get back to the edge of the known universe, which is going to take us a minute, but, you know, I kind of like that about this. A couple of times when I was doing a skew, I gave up and made it a culvert. There's one of those up here. This one is just a normal bridge. Well, it's two bridges next to one another. The old one and the new one. And if we come through here and go this way, right? This way. This is a place where I think I gave up and just made it, yeah, a culvert. Put some pipes in on both sides. Here I was gonna do that, and then I decided not to. Ended up just adjusting the river around it. Let's see what this looks like. I don't really like this. These are just reskins of the same thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these. They don't oh, ooh, like this. This is good. This we could use somewhere. Okay. 4 things are bred at Texas Roadhouse. You're at Texas Roadhouse on New Year's Eve? Damn. Okay. So, what's our next hurdle? Let's look at what's unfinished, right? We did this block a little while ago, and we have 7 more of these to do. I'm a little tired of doing suburbs. I know we just sort of have to bite the bullet and do it. Maybe we'll do a small one and then sort of go on. This can be our taste. Can I get a suburb piece done before the top of the hour? Let's start with doing search filter. The other thing is, oh, we've got a brick house. I've definitely used this one before, but it's a really nice one, so I'm going to use it again. This actually should probably face the slightly more main road here. Be on a corner. Recently, and by recently I mean earlier today, I was looking at a house that is in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It is near where the Rhode Island-Massachusetts Railroad crossed Dexter Street. It's very close to there. And I was doing some research on it just purely out of curiosity. It was like a 5-minute distraction, 20-minute adventure, in, out, easy, while I was working. And that led me to one of those Railroads of Rhode Island sites that I like to visit so damn often. They are really great sites. I can't say that enough. And the dude who runs them, Edward Ozog, is a real G, because he allowed us to use his photos in our trading cards. And when I produce the next cards that have his photos, I'm going to write him a heartfelt thank you, because as previously mentioned, he is a real G. I always appreciate it when folks are, willing to let us use their photographs without monetary compensation, because for those who, many of you may know that I do the trading cards almost at a loss. I get about as much back as I spend to create them, and that's not including the cost of actually like running the website. So that's a yeah. I on the bright side, it's a great tax write off because I make no money from it. Uh, Either way, buy trading cards. I'm currently holding the phone on batch 5 because of other things that are in the works, which will hopefully become apparent in the next couple of weeks. I can't spoil anything, but hopefully it will become apparent in the next couple of weeks. Uh, and I know that I'm going to have to jump into high gear with that. The thing is, oh, this is kind of neat. We could put this here. The thing is that this thing that we're working towards, I am almost completely certain is going to take up a lot of my time, like all of my trading card attention. Um, and I don't want to be I don't want to be in the midst of trying to make another batch and then falling short because I just don't have the time. Um, so that's why we haven't had batch 5 yet. I put out that announcement like at the beginning of the year or maybe before, um, on the website, theironhorseman.com, for those unfamiliar, and I haven't said anything since because I don't really have anything to report that I can say out loud to the world, to the general public. Um, it's not a super secret. I have a bunch of people that are working with me on these things that are in the know, but one, don't bother anybody about it, and B, it's a matter of necessity because I'm going to need all hands on deck for this thing. If I could do it on my own, I would do it on my own, but that supposes a much simpler thing to do than what I'm currently doing. And frankly, as much as I don't like to change things midstream, virtually all of the trading card batches have been iterations on the previous ones. And this is kind of a non sequitur with the rest of it, but it's worth saying. I left out a lot of things on the early batches that I realized I could put in later. Excuse me. I realized I could put in later, squeeze in, or fit here or there. Some of the boxes. Oh, that's a garage? That's a shed. Like, damn. This can go near the derelict house then. Um, Sorry, this dude had like a gas leak and blew his house up. I don't know what happened. What happened to him? He died. Um, like yeah, every batch of trading cards has been an iteration on the last in terms of what we can put on the cards and what we do put on the cards. One of the most recent things is digging up the works numbers for all the engines. Speaking of cards, next time we're at the PL, and I'm willing to buy some if you bring them. I almost always bring them. It's good to know. I will make my way down there sooner or later. I know you're pretty consistent with going. I'm sure that I can get down there in the near future. Um, this Saturday is a maybe. I don't actually know. I have to look at my calendar and see if there's anything that jumps out at me. I've also got to do like wedding planning stuff. It's a busy time. It's a busy time. Okay, let's do this. Let's fill this in. That took me like 5 minutes. Honest to God, that took me 5 minutes. I mean, we still need to do the fences, but look at how much we got done in a short period of time. Isn't that nuts? And I know I've been saying bonkers a lot, like it's my new favorite word. I don't really know why it is. I don't know what it is about the word bonkers that has enraptured me so, but yeah, I really do look forward to doing batch 5. Although batch 5 might be this secret project, and then the next community one is going to be batch 6. We'll see. I always want to have two, you know, I always want to have 2 batches for sale in the store, and I'm about to run out of batch 3. Um, so, I found my cutoff is when I have no more than like 50 in any given batch. I go and make the next one, but Again, we're only 4 batches in. The process has been iterative. If we can, if we can expand the scope of like who's buying the cards, uh, then we can make more batches because I'll be running out faster and I'll be making more money. And also, if there's more demand for the cards, it means I can raise the price a little bit and maybe actually make my money back, at least enough to like fund the website's existence. But until then, I also need to get Merger Mania up on the site, which is something that I've been going back and forth on for a while. I know it's going to require like a big refactorization of the website for me to redo how like the games and things are presented, because right now it's tailored almost exclusively to the trading cards. Um, but I do want to get Merger Mania up there. I do have to ask permission from Mississippi Rails to use their KMZs in something that I'm sharing with the world like this. I feel like I should. I'm not sure what kind of copyright those files are under, either like legally speaking or just like what he says they're under. But I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be the antagonist for this guy, or guys, or individuals, people, comrades. I don't want to be someone who is making a problem for them because they've got to talk to me and say like, hey, please cease and desist. Don't share these maps around. That we need people to like. We'd like people to get them through the website. And then I can say like, sure, that's understandable and take it down. But I don't want to fake people out like that. I don't want to go from, yeah, absolutely, you can grab these from the website to, oh, I'm sorry, folks, we had to pull down Merger Mania. I could do the best of Loco games. I mean, that would be great. I also need to do template games to go up on the site as like a, hey, you want to know how to play? Here's how to play. Alright, let's put this over here. Something we don't have for these houses is like hedges, We could use some hedges. And I know I talked about this a little while ago. I just have not been in the headspace to sit down and figure out what the matches are going to be, who is going to play them, because frankly, I want to be picky about who is going to play. I need people that are good sports. I need people that are, knowledgeable in the game, and aren't going to dick around, but aren't going to be, basically, I need like the best contestants as well as the best matches. I don't want to have any grudge matches up there as template games. Mew was a W last weekend. I got the Scotsman and McLeod 25. Oh, wow. In exchange for a 1522? Mew. He should have at least asked you for like 3 or 4 of them. I know you've got 1522s for days. You're gonna start doling them out like currency, Okay, give me the hedge. Volunteer stream. You have 7 1522s left? Oh my god. And everyone else buy trading cards so that Train Street doesn't have to get any more 1522s. I'm gonna delete this. Oh shoot, no, I didn't want to delete that. I have more C16s now. Well, at least you can pull 900 to 1,000 freight cars all by yourself. There we go. Speaking of Trainz Machinima, I know multiple people who are now rewatching the Iron Horseman Chronicles, just for fun, And I love it when someone does that, and then they say to me like, the editing is terrible, but the writing is top notch, and I'm like, hell yeah, I knew that. I knew the editing was terrible, and it's nice to hear that the thing I was proud of is still worthy of being, is still like something to be proud of. Uh, I am proud of the writing of the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Um, the Iron Horseman Chronicles is the Trainz Machinima series that we made, oh my god, almost 10 years ago now. The first episode was released on July 4th, 2015, just after we had come back from the Train Mountain Triennial. And we made that show just about weekly during the summer for 2 years. Um, we made something like 20 episodes, or no, sorry, probably like 35 episodes. I don't know exactly how many episodes there were, but we were aiming for like, no, hold on, because I should know better. How many episodes were in a season? Like 16? Um, uh, it won't show up when I just Google it, because I think I've organized a lot of it into stuff that is owned by the Chronicles account. And let's see, resources, episode guide. First season had 13 episodes. Second season had, yeah, 13 episodes. Second season had 13 episodes. So okay, so we had 26 episodes. And then we had another one that was like edited and ready to go. Actually, that there is a lost episode. I always forget about that. I don't know if the editing is all there or not, but uh, I might have it kicking around somewhere still. Maybe I should release the lost episode for the 10th anniversary. It would have been after To Rule the World. Um, so maybe I can do a little bit of editing. Maybe I can put some commentary in the beginning. Uh, does anyone remember Legend of the Lost Daylight? No, I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm not the right person to ask. I wonder if anybody else knows, because I I really never watched a lot of them. I know that's like sacrilege, right? Like, how can I say that I never watched any of them when I made a series of 26 episodes and almost made a movie, and I'm writing all this other stuff? Like, I understand why. Like, I've never watched the full Buccaneers. I got like 10 minutes into the first episode, and I couldn't get over the faces, and I like, it just turned me completely off to it. And I went, you know what, I'm okay without this. And I know that I should have, because everyone rants and raves about it. And maybe it would have been worthwhile for me to do that before going and writing my own series, but it seems to have worked out. Um, and yeah, no, 311, very entertaining, but I only know that because I've worked with Ryan on writing stuff. Uh, some things that were tangentially or would have been for 311. Um, and I've always praised Ryan as a writer because his jokes per minute is really good. Like, it's really solid. It's like I compare it to Airplane, at least in my head. Uh, it's a lot of fun. It's always just a ride. And some of the stuff he's showed me about like the behind the scenes and the route and everything, it just blows me away. Um, because it's like, it's another level of creativity. It's different. It's a different kind of creativity. And I've talked a lot about my creative process on the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Um, but like, at the end of the day, I was pretty grounded with what we did, with only a couple of digressions from that, and even then they were fairly structured and tied to other things, like the F40 showing up in every episode. Or almost every episode. I don't know if there are ones where I forgot to throw it in there. Um, the one Train series I think I watched that is now lost media is about a guy building a route, and he had a blue-green Kitson-Meyer thing, and it's stuck in my head and I can't find it on YouTube. Also, hi there, Kaiser. Save Juan. Uh, this, yeah, there were a lot of good, there were and are, people keep making them. People go back to the old ones and remake stuff, and you know, I am appreciative of the fact that there is so much effort around for Trainz machinima even now. Even in an era where machinima is far less mainstream than it was when I was a kid. And on the one hand, that's because I'm grown up and I watch cable television and not machinima anymore. Um, but like, there were some, you know, the era of red versus blue being a household name has passed. Is sort of, you know, the gist of this. And there were other machinimas. There were other machinimas that had a, you know, a broad audience, not ones that I was super familiar with, but Red versus Blue is probably the most famous machinima. Oh, let's see. Let's get some orange trees, or maybe some apple trees. Um, uh, uh, I would love a thing tree orange. There we go. Um, I'm just gonna. I know I said we do trees later, but I don't want to forget that I want to put trees here. There we go. We get some orange trees. Let's scoot them a little bit away from the road. How about that? How about that? Okay. Alright, so we did this, and we did it well before the top of the hour. So, solid. We did good. Good job, us. Part 1, the beginning. Like, something that I love about Trainz Machinima, and even Machinima in general, but Trainz Machinima is fairly accessible because you can do a lot of it yourself. You know, don't ask me how I know and all that, but just genuinely with the mechanics of Trainz, you can get a lot done by yourself. You can, all of the filming can be done by one person on one machine, because you can have multiple trains running around at once. It's not like a Halo machinima where you need multiple people controlling multiple characters to do things in tandem. No, you can do a lot by yourself in Trainz Machinima, and that means that it is a medium which is very accessible to people. And I love that. I'm so glad for that. Because people have to get their start somewhere. You got to get your start writing. You got to get your start filming and editing. And, you know, you can go down that path and learn a lot about those techniques before you know very much. And that is great. That is really useful and really cool. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do next, because I'm gonna just like tease. You know what? You know what? You know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this next. We're gonna finish the row houses. We're gonna do this one right here. I've been putting this off for a hot minute, and we're gonna do it now. Oh, my neck. Okay, we're gonna jump into Surveyor 2 for this because that's like the most important part. Because we need to copy paste stuff. So. What the hell was I saying? Yeah, Trainz Machinima is a really important, like, machinima type. Because you can do so much with so little. With one person, with a couple people. You know, there are Trainz Machinima series, like the Iron Horseman Chronicles is not great for number of people being voiced by one person, or being voiced by the showrunner in particular. You know? The Chronicles is not great when it comes to that, but it's also not bad. We had quite like a pretty solid variety in voice actors, if you ask me. You know, there were you know, a dozen different people out of the Horsemen, if not more, plus a whole bunch of my friends. You know, the Trainz community is, you know, let's just say it demographically skews in the masculine direction. And because of that, you run into situations where even if you don't have a lot of people or a lot of characters being voiced by a singular person, usually the showrunner. Even if you don't have that, you often run into a situation where your um, your cast is almost exclusively dudes. Um, so, you know, I'm glad that we avoided that in as much as we could, and I'm realizing I faced these the wrong way. Hold on. Let's just. Oh shoot. No, I don't want the. No, 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 no. Nope, that's not working. Um, the other thing we did is we didn't have to worry about any sort of copyright stuff. We basically didn't use anything that wasn't royalty free music. And I know some people have done some great stuff with like actual, non royalty free music. In fact, there are some transitions that I've seen. Conrail Fan 76 there on YouTube uh, has shown me some of the dopest editing I've ever seen in a Trainz machinima. And I'm not sure if it was stuff that ever like aired publicly or just things that he showed me behind the scenes, but like it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I can't underscore that enough. I think about it often, which for like a 5 second scene transition says a hell of a lot. And you know, you don't have to be at that level to make a Trainz machinima. You don't have to be at that level to make a decent Trainz machinima. I was never much of an editor. I always kind of sucked at editing. Excuse me. And as a consequence, that's not the high point of the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Uh, but everybody starts somewhere, and I knew I wasn't going to end up being an editor. And if I had held my cards less close to the chest, or maybe if it had felt like I had more support, but that's really probably more on me than anybody else. And also, if people hadn't had like a catastrophic slew of computer problems towards the end of season 2, which is really what shut us down more than anything. Um, uh, people say we grew up, but we're still playing with Trainz. Uh, I, maybe we would have had more separation of stuff. We would have been, we were planning on shifting around some voice acting roles to take the load off of certain people who were doing more than one. We were planning on, breaking up the series a little bit differently. We were going to curtail some plot threads maybe to make writing a little bit more easy. And a lot of that never came to pass. For one reason or another. But we still have this heart and soul. The Chronicle's still kicking. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about now. What I was getting into. I'm just glad. Oh, right. You know what? You know what sent me off on this tangent? The name of that episode you just sent me, Train Street. Episode 1, The Beginning. And the reason why it made me think of anything is because this is, for so many people, because of the accessibility, this is the first foray of dipping one's feet in the water of production at all. And not only is that cool, it leads to some kind of funny side effects and consequences. Because not everyone has found their style yet. I mean, you might argue that everyone is always finding their style. That no one has really made it that far. I keep holding shift instead of control and deselecting everything. But point of fact is that you get stuff that could end up being or feeling relatively uninspired because these are adolescent kids who are learning how to machinimate, and not Steven Spielberg in his prime. Not everything has to have all sorts of meaning all the time. And I'm a sucker for titles that matter. I guess. I'm a sucker for theming my titles, uh, always having like a double meaning to stuff. I could get into I could go down a rabbit hole of the Iron Horseman Chronicles, the motion picture, the novel, um, and the names of those chapter titles. Originally, a lot of them were musical allusions, but I dropped that because it was kind of becoming a pain. Instead, I just went with stuff that always has some kind of double meaning, uh, and I really like doing that. There's a project that I'm working on where it's a documentary, and I am trying to make all of the I'm trying to push for, because I'm not in charge of this project. I'm trying to push for all of the chapter titles being um, being allusions to, or being direct quotes from the source material, from stuff that the documentary is like is pulling from, or other things about the topic of the documentary. I cannot sadly explain any further than that, but my point is I'm trying to make a theme. I'm a sucker for well done titles, chapter titles, book titles, just headers of any kind. I like a rhyme and a reason. Um, and really, there's nothing wrong with not doing that. But it's one of the things where people say that you're supposed to put the title on something last, and that's very fair. When I'm writing the chapters for the motion picture, the novel, I'm writing stuff down. I'm putting down the chapter title last because I need to know what all is in the chapter. And sometimes when you're writing, your characters just do something. And if any of you are aspiring to write, or if you are already writing stuff, sometimes you should let that happen. Like, you know your characters better than anyone. Um, and while other people might be able to provide insight, when you are writing, you could and perhaps should be doing your best to embody those characters. Let the characters become you and speak through you onto the page, especially when it comes to dialogue. Put yourself in their shoes and see where it goes. Uh, and so as a consequence, sometimes your characters will do something or say something that you might not have considered them doing, but when you're working through this scenario, sort of like how you have arguments in the shower, uh, something might happen that you might not have anticipated, but makes sense in the moment. And you, if it interrupts your plot, you don't necessarily have to keep that moment, that interaction, that thing. But it could still inform those characters and what happens. Um, Something that's always very powerful is going through a scene and just going through it a few times, going through an arc a few times, and seeing if you can make it more satisfactory. As a writer, what you want to do is you want to entertain your audience, and in order to do that best, you need to make their brain produce the happy chemicals that comes with doing a thing to reach a satisfying conclusion, going through a hard time to reach a better time. And not everything follows that. There are plenty of movies with downer endings. Um, my favorite and arguably the best Star Wars movie, Rogue One, ends with all of the main characters dying. Um, Spoilers, by the way. And it's still absolutely fantastic. Uh, and yeah, it still has that seed of hope, and it's not bad to have a downer ending, but still have something where you can say, like, okay, but it's not all bad because XYZ. Now, you're going through writing is solutions without problems. There are no real life problems a lot of the time that you're solving by writing a novel. Because there can be real life problems that you're solving by writing, not a novel. And in fairness, plenty of novels, and I would argue many of the best, uh, integrate an aspect of real world strife in order to write a metaphor, in order to be better, in order to be more entertaining and more satisfying, and make people think, of course. Um, I like Star Trek. Star Trek has always been quite good at taking a real life problem and boiling it down into a way that can be addressed by, you know, by people in slick uniforms on the bridge of a starship talking to green aliens. You know, um, there is very little hesitation when it comes to a series like Star Trek uh, going after societal issues that way. Uh, all right, I'm gonna delete that because we've got too many blue garages. I need to throw in another garage. Let's see, what else have we got? We've got a yellow garage. What about this one? Uh, but what I'm saying is, you need to, or it helps to look at your arcs of your plot and your characters and go through them a couple of times and see if there's a way that you can make them better. And by better, I mean more satisfactory. By by better, I mean you are taking a. Oh, can I replace with? Okay, give me a different one. By better, I mean make a situation that ties up more loose ends in a way that is satisfactory. Okay, that's cool. I like that. It's something you can do. It's something you should do. You want to deliver the right emotional beats, the right emotional punches at the right times. If you can do that, then you can make a compelling piece of literature or not literature. Um, and there are some episodes of the Iron Horse Chronicles that we wrote and that I am bummed that we never got to air, that we never got to record even, because because stuff happened, because of a variety of things, and they sit in the scripts folder, and someday I will release them. And I say that a lot, but I still mean it. I just want to get everything organized, and organizing stuff on a Google Docs between multiple accounts is honestly kind of a pain. So, there's my excuse. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I'll digress from that long tangent, because I could talk about writing all damn day. Force everyone in the chat on Saturday to watch the Daylight episode when we go downstairs towards the end. Is the Daylight, is it long? Like, how long is this episode? Didn't I show you and Ben some of the IHC scripts at PN Open House? Did I? No. You know what? I think I had the 3/4 of an Idiot show scripts. If they were on paper, they were not IHC scripts. I don't know. I think there's only one person that's ever printed out a Chronicle script, or maybe they just wrote it by hand. I'm misremembering because it's been a long time. But no, I've never printed any of those out. I don't remember having a laptop with me, so I wouldn't have been able to show you. I don't think. Yeah, it was the 3/4 show stuff. It was my notes for it was my notes for the Bridge Killing Bridge episode and my scrolled handwritten information for the barge bridge, or the draw boat episode. The Daylight episode is 21 minutes of both parts. Oh, that's not too long. That's like that's a target length for an episode of the Iron Horseman Chronicles. Our episodes were target length 20 minutes. Our scripts were target length 20 pages, and we tried not to go over like 25. That's, that didn't always work. That was kind of optimistic. We had a lot of scripts that were hitting like 27, 28 pages, especially on the first draft. But, that's just the way it goes. I mean, hold on, these are not lining up great. You have a lot of ideas. You pack them into a thing. It's better to be long on your first episode than short, because, or long on your first draft than short. Um, because you can trim some stuff down. It's sometimes a lot tougher to find filler that doesn't feel egregious. Anyway, the Kaiser says, "Guess what I've been researching over the past few days? A small little thing called Metro 2. Perhaps you've heard of it, comrade." Yes. Well, I assume you don't mean uh, the sequel to the hit video game Metro 2033, and you're speaking of the Metro subway in Moscow, or the is that the I know there are a lot of rumors that float around about Metro 2. I cannot remember uh, if it's like more rumor than fact or more fact than rumor. It's been a while since I have read anything about it. I say a while, but it must have been a couple of months ago I was reading about Metro 2. Uh, yeah, I don't remember what led me down that rabbit hole again. Because usually I'm kicking around and I'm saying like, yeah, no, I know about that because I've heard about it, and there isn't much else to it than that. But uh, yeah, Metro 2 is the deep underground Soviet metro system that's rumored to be under Metro 1. It's in the Metro game series. Yeah, I see. I want to play Metro. Um, I haven't. It's sort of been on in the back of my mind, like way down to the bottom of my list of games to play. I it's a really cool premise. It's a really cool setting, and like the fact that bullets are also your money is, I'm sure it's been said 1,000 times. It's a really clever game mechanic. Uh, that rewards you for being good at the game in a very straightforward way that a lot of similar games can't do. Um, GTA 5 stream win. The only thing I do in GTA 5 is go to the casino. I'm dead serious. Uh, Metro and Stalker are my go-to comfort games. That that makes sense. Um, yeah, I remember a good friend of mine used to play a lot of Metro when we were kids, and I like went to his house and watched him play it, and I was like, oh damn, that's really cool. Hi, baby.
Hi,
Oh, thank you for the tab.
can I interrupt this broadcast for you to untie my shoes?
Oh goodness, yes. But you need to do me a favor after that.
Or...
You need to pick out my soda.
Okay.
Everyone say hi to Gloria.
Hi.
Can I have a foot, please, so I can help undo your knackered laces? Oh, shoot. There's poop on the bottom of this.
No!
There's poop on the bottom of this shoe. If you could retrace your steps to make sure that you didn't get poop in all the rug, that would be very helpful. And then wipe off the bottom of your shoe. It's not that bad. It's just at the tip. Just the tip. I'm just gonna put that down on its side. Oh, I can already see us. Yep. That's okay. We gotta clean the back wall carpeting. Struggling with this one.
Sorry.
And at least there's no poop on this. You should show the chat your wicked nails so they know why you cannot do this. Hi, Bankman. Here we go. The floor really quick. It's not too bad. There we go. Anyway, Yeah, GTA 5 stream. I mean, we could do GTA 5 for a community play date. I would just be at the. That's honestly a pretty good community play date. I would vote for it. It's been a hot minute since I've played, but I still have it installed. Um, when you come back, I have a question. Do you think it's possible to make an underground trains route that's meant to be operated in first person? I think people have done that. I think people have made like not insignificant portions of the New York City subway. It's definitely possible. It would be a pain to actually physically build, but what you would actually probably want to do is either build it all out and then raise the ground above it, or build it all out on flat ground because you're never going to see the outside of the tunnel anyway. Um, so, uh, you know, I would think so. I would think so, and I might be overselling how difficult it is. You just need to suspend the disbelief of being able to look at all the tunnels from the outside. Uh, of course, you could go whole hog, build the whole rail system, put the ground over it, build a city over that, and call it a day. Like you genuinely could. It would not be. I mean, it would be a lot of work, but it would be far from impossible. Um, sometimes the camera might get angry at you. Sometimes, you would definitely run into some headaches with regard to just sort of setting up everything on the route if you don't have everything, you know, perfectly situated before before you put ground over it, if that's what you decide to do. But maybe. What did you get for me? Orange cream. Dreamsicle was the frosty flavor, wasn't it? Got ourselves an orange cream soda. Oh, speaking of frosty flavors, um, the Thin Mint Frosty has rekindled my love for Wendy's. The Thin Mint Frosty and the $3 Son of Baconator, which don't be fooled by the commercials. The Son of Baconator is very small, but I like it. Um, Lafayette. Um, but I like the Son of Baconator a lot. Every time I get a Baconator, it's like dry. Even if it's larger, I enjoy eating it less. Um, Ice cream soda, the best one. Yeah, yes, and yeah, just like real life cut and cover. Um, sometimes art imitates life like that. There, look into like folks that have made the New York City subway system. Like, look into that, and maybe you can investigate their techniques if that's something that you're really interested in doing. Um, I I might do uh, dreamsicles were those orange pops you get out of the gas station coolers, or is that a southern thing? That's I know that as a creamsicle. Maybe dreamsicle was a localized term or a brand name or something. Cheers from our not sponsor Yacht Club soda. Um, at any rate, the hell was I saying? Um, yeah. Look into that. See what you can find. Um, I remember hearing about it a long time ago. It's one of those Trainz projects that like I am vaguely aware of. Um, for example, I know somebody was building the entire Uinta Railway, and that is cool. And I've always sort of wanted to follow up on that and like, you know, look at it and maybe run a train on it. Uh, but of course, trains like locomotive running is relatively simple, so I'm not going to be I'm not super excited to run a train on it because it's not like, oh, I'm going to be fighting Baxter Pass. It's like, okay, I'm going to put the throttle all the way up and go from there. Um, Train's locomotive operation is like one step above railroader, uh, and railroader, when you're on a steep hill, you just sort of put the throttle on the ceiling and wait. All right. let's do that. You can do so much, like, weird stuff. You do so much weird stuff. You know, like there's a lot of things to do in GTA that I've never scratched the surface of. Like I said, I just go to the golf course. Or, sorry, go to the casino. I've never done golf, although I understand that that's a pretty good minigame too. Uh, Everyone called them push pops anyway, no matter the brand or flavor. Really? Push pops are an icon of my childhood, and they were a very specific thing. I would not be confusing them with anything. Uh, but yeah, like it does feel right when you're calling everything Coke. Uh, that's, you know, classic. Uh, Hello, Orion. I'm trying to think of an equivalent for like New England, but I can't think of one that's regional. You know, there are plenty of things where a brand name has completely overtaken a an otherwise normal term for something. Like what is this? What is this? What is this? Somebody tell me what is the word for this thing that I'm holding? Uh, you're mad at the DOT. Welcome to my world. I'm mad at the DOT and I work for the DOT. Well, I don't work for them, but you know, it's a Kleenex. No, it's a facial tissue or a tissue. Kleenex is a brand name, but everyone knows that it's Kleenex. If you say, "Give me a Kleenex," people will hand you a tissue. They're not going to say like, "Oh, we don't have Kleenex. Is Pepsi okay?" Uh, like, you know, it's that's what a Kleenex is. If you look something up on the internet, you Google it. If you Band-Aid is another good one. One that has sort of died out by our generation because we don't really use them anymore. But instead of copying something, Xeroxing something, because Xerox was such a like universal name in the world of photocopiers that it just became the term for copying. What are some other good ones? What are some other good ones? I mean, I know. There's the stereotype of your mom or your aunt calling every game system a Nintendo. Uh, Not quite what I'm getting at, but still works. Uh, the reason why the DME no longer exists is because they denied a $2 billion grant to fund access to the Powder River Basin. DME. DME? Uh, Duluth, Masab, and Earn. Okay. Let's go. Oh, Dakota, Minnesota, and Eastern. I mean, the Powder River Basin. I mean, I guess you could get in there. I feel like, you know, I mean, yeah, sure, you can go in there and dig out some messy coal, but listen, as much as I hate to say it, there's not a lot of coal mining going on, and it's not for lack of supply. Um, and it's a shame that we lost a railroad because of it. But there's just not much out that way. There's not much else out that way. You know, I can only. It's tough to see the justification of keeping a railroad on life support just because you want them to continue to exist. If they're not serving anyone. Mainly for bentonite. Really? Bentonite. Fascinating. I did not know that that came from the Powder River Basin. What is bentonite for? I want to know. I'm going to Bing this. Nyuk nyuk nyuk. Bentonite. Oh, it's clay. It's absorbent swelling clay. They were gonna pull that out of the Powder River Basin? Well, I guess, because clay is sedimentary, right? So that does make sense. If you ever look at a map of, if you ever look at a map of like traffic just traffic in freight tons in the United States. The amount of stuff that comes out of the Powder River Basin is kind of absurd. It dominates the map. They're the single busiest corridors, and it's like mostly coal. Uh, it's crazy to think that that still dominates like that. But you know, you still use coal for a lot of stuff. Coal is important for steel milling, and coal is important for power in a lot of places. Uh, Mississippi Delta covered in aggregate mines. Yeah, I mean, anything that gets dropped off by a river, and the river is going to do a pretty decent job of stratifying it for you too, which is nice. Um, because over time, you know, you're going to see like different weights of things deposited in different places. You're going to see, you know, things sinking to the bottom or floating above other things, or you know, stuff getting shuffled up just enough that the large stuff ends up above the small stuff. Uh, like I really enjoyed my geology classes in college. Can you tell? Um, anyway, okay, we're still doing this. All right, good night, Train Street. Good to see you as always. Let's see, what else can we put over here? I'm just trying to find good chunks. Ooh, excuse me. Um, how about like this chunk? Okay, this. We've got a double fence going on over here. Let me grab only one of them. I didn't have a geology class as part of my major. I took a couple as electives because the professor was super cool. Um, his name was Bob, and he was like so happy to teach geology. Uh, and I am so grateful for cool people like that who like really are clearly very passionate about the field that they're in, or the field that they teach, even. Um, you know, in a world where we could all self-determine like that, in a world where we didn't have to work for a living, uh, it's exciting to know that there are still people that care about something that could be considered so painfully boring that they would go out and do it anyway. Um, Also, why not put a random gas station on the corner of those row houses? Someone who didn't want to give up their property as the town expanded, so they zoned and built around them. Uh, as a gas station? I'm not sure we'd get a gas station in here. The gas station would probably come kind of later, because these houses would have been here. These houses would have been here for the mills back before you got a lot of car traffic. Um, That said, where is the closest gas station? This is something I should check. There's one right here. Okay, there's one over here. So where should I put another one? I mean, knowing typical, you know, competitive capitalistic practices, I should put another one across the street. Um, yeah, these are, you know, these are at the latest like a 1920s row houses, 1920s row house setup. The newer ones are like this. Um, these, you know, a lot of these may be older than the 20s, um, but this area is no younger than that. So yeah, and this stuff would have been rebuilt with some larger stuff. I don't know. Maybe we can say there was a fire here, and it cleared out a lot of the old stuff, and so they rebuilt it like this. Um, but yeah, this is some pretty darn old densification. Um, now, yeah, and you do have a separation between this and the mills, unlike on this side, where you have the density is right up against where the mills are/were, and there would have been more stuff along this waterfront once upon a time. Um, they're slowly tearing down the old row houses to build new ones. That's actually a good scene. That's a good idea. We should have a chunk of this that is like ripped out. I think next time I do another set of row houses, I will have like a bite taken out of the corner. Um, if you want to remind me about that when the time comes, please do, because that's actually a good one. Um, I've been trying to not do too much in the way of showing how the world is changing, because the idea is you play day after day after day and nothing ever changes. So why would I show that? That's just like that's me being kind of uh, but all right, see you, Ryan. Godspeed. Um, Brain. Uh, but a half-built house has been a staple in like every town so far. So I can't push that argument to its limit and say like, well, I'm not going to show anything under construction. The name of the show is under construction. Of course, we have to have some under construction stuff. Okay. So let's actually grab this chunk and turn it around. And something that I've noticed when I start reusing stuff is I lose a lot of the smaller detailed portions like this. What's the building with a water tower in the middle there? This tank or oh shoot, I held control again. Um, the tank is just a tank. The building with the water tower is a waterworks. Um, it's on the river here, but also you've got falling water because I found it and it fit really nice, so I couldn't keep myself from putting it here. So we have like a park, but also the waterworks, which is pulling fresh water, or fresh-ish water because it's coming out of this creek. Uh, so you've got that. There's also a little market here, the superstore, and then a few more row houses. Like they were going to build more, but they stopped with just a handful. Um, okay, right. This section right here. But I don't have an explanation for this tank. I just kind of like it there. That one. Something I noticed the other day while I was driving around there are two things that, if you look in the right direction in New England, you see an awful lot of. One is church steeples, and the other one is water towers. Every mill had their own water tower. Every little town had their own water tower. Like, there's just there's a plethora of them. We're silly with water towers. I should be able to look over the skyline of Bellington and South Bellington and see steeples, stacks, and water towers. And right now I see one of each, which is not enough. I'm going to need to add more. Okay, you got another steeple over there. You've got whatever that is over there, which... Okay, yeah, that's like a grain elevator. I guess that kind of counts. We're definitely going to have some grain elevators in the distance, too. As we go over here, they're all going to pop into existence. Some of these tall buildings are not going to stick around. I was just experimenting with stuff. Because this town is not supposed to be like a Providence-sized city. This is, this is a decent size, but not huge. And by huge, I still mean huge by Trainz standards. I am never going to get anywhere within a stone's throw of New York City or anything equivalent. The largest city I would probably, aim for is a place like Providence, where there are a decent number of tallish buildings and a small handful of actual skyscrapers. This place, we're not getting skyscrapers. Yeah, okay, that thing is pretty tall, but if this building shows up, it's going to be the tallest building here by like a margin of 2. By a margin of half its size. So, all right, let's scoot this over because we have a passage through here that I kind of want to leave open. Yeah, we'll get to that later. And this side of town, there's not a lot of tall buildings. We don't have much going on. This is going to be, it's mostly row houses, mostly suburbs. You've got the one commercial strip. You're also going to have a second, more modern commercial strip along the state highway sort of area over here. Um, but this is, this is our greatest density. We might see more of these kinds of blocks. Maybe even, I might grab all of these, rotate them 90 degrees, and stick them in here. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Differentiating between the different churches, like how Catholic churches look different from Methodist and Baptist churches. I haven't been doing that deliberately, but I do have a lot of different churches. I'm limited by the technology of my time. I'm limited by what people have decided to make. So I'm not going out of my way to set up like, oh, well, the Baptists are all over here, and the Methodists are over here, and the Lutherans are over here, and the Roman Catholics are over here. I just sort of feel like, oh, you know what? I haven't had a church in a while. Let me go find one we haven't put down before. There could be more thought that goes into it. I will admit, if I wanted to go whole hog on the lore and talk about, you could spend an awful lot of time on the religious history of your world, even when it has no bearing on anything. It is a hell of a rabbit hole to go down. It is something that could be a lot of fun. It can also be very enlightening. Religious history, which I guess would fall under the... No, I'm not sure if that would technically fall under the umbrella of theology. But in any case, it is some fascinating stuff. Excuse me. I say before it actually comes out of me. Let's grab this and this. Oh shoot, that's the long, multi-part garage that I made. You could spend an awful lot of time figuring that out, and it's fascinating. I put a park in this empty space right over here. Could do. We've got a park over here though. I could throw down a little playground though. That might fit. I'm trying to think of where's our nearest green space. Yeah, having a playground over here is probably good. It doesn't need that much space. I'm just gonna butt this up against these 3 buildings here, and call it a day with the row houses, and then we'll find some playground equipment. It's got to be old stuff too. It's got to be dangerous. Kind of like that wedge in London that's got the T-34. I'm not familiar, but I believe you. Always pulling out the stuff where I'm like, ah, yes, that sounds credible. Actually, that sounds perfectly non-credible. That's a very non-credible defense thing to be talking about. I'm just going to do the ground first while we're here. And then, go back to Surveyor Classic, please. Go into here. Metal slide that can cook bacon and eggs, exactly. Or like the big wooden things. I'm partial to the big wooden castle looking things. I remember knowing there was one of those in Jamestown, which is on one of the islands, which is usually called Jamestown. Let's talk about localizations again. The name of the island is Connecticut, I believe, or Connecticut, or something like that. Different than Connecticut, which is also a place. The only town, the major town, is Jamestown. And I remember it having one of those giant wooden play structures. That's the only thing I remember about it. My cousins lived there. I would visit them occasionally. It was a shorter drive than going to the beach, so I kind of got excited when we were going to go there, because the beach is like a 45-minute drive. And as a kid, that was awful. As a kid, I felt like I was going to die. 45 minutes is a lifetime as a 10-year-old. And, I was like, oh my god. I didn't not like the beach, obviously. I liked going to the beach, but I dreaded the ride there. And these days, I don't even care. These days, Like, the only reason I don't go to the beach all the time is by the time I get out of work and get in the car and drive all the way down there, it's gonna be dark, and it's gonna be chilly, and like when the sun goes away, even on a hot day, you don't really want to be in the ocean anymore. Uh, Even if it's not like dark, dark, it's just not sunny. Let's go there for pizza parties. See, now you're thinking Pizza Planet, the Pizza Planet playground. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's find some playground equipment. Oh, shoot. I've got like a pre-made one. Oh, it doesn't fit. Wait a minute. What if I turn it sideways? Okay, I might have to nix a couple of those. That's okay. Let's point the swings directly at the street so the kids fling into the road. That's much better. And then we have like the climbing wall. I assume that's a climbing wall and not a blank sign. Here. And then what you can do is get rid of this and this. Oh, those are still in the thing. Oh, see, I wanted it... Hold on, we'll fix that in Surveyor 2. We'll fix it in post. Surveyor 2.0. Oh! Let's drag that out and then delete it. If I had a nickel for every time I'd swung on swings that are too close to fences, I could buy my own swings. The swings are the real ones, right? Like having swings in a park, like they're I feel like they're almost underrated, and they're like they're the standby. They're always going to be there. You're always going to have swings. We'll always have Tom Paris. Okay, there we go. Well, I got rid of my long garage, but at least we got a playground out of it. And then let's do like, instead of doing grass, we should probably do like some kind of mulch. I would say sand, but there's already a sandbox. Can we get mulch? No. Okay, what about like a coarse-looking sand? My school didn't get swings until I moved to middle schools. Fundraised for 5 years and never got to use them. You should have gone back and got on them. There's a park around the corner for me that recently got renovated, and it's great because it's an improvement. I mean, the old one was much smaller and kind of fallen apart, and I'm glad that the city spent the money to renovate the park. Also, the park has Wi-Fi now, so that's kind of cool. That's a nice little bonus. They got rid of the parking lot. They expand the grassy area into where the parking lot was. They moved the park into the street parking because there were only like 4 parking spaces in the lot anyway, and it's in the middle of a neighborhood. Most people who are going to use it probably don't need to drive there. But I'd be lying if I told you I didn't go back to the park after they renovated it and got on the swings. Because they're there, you fundraise for them. I fundraised for mine. They're our swings. Okay. I don't love the way that stands out, but oh, you know what? It needs a fence. Let's just throw a chain link fence around it and call it good. Where's a good chain link fence? Most of my parks had chain link fences. Like it's so like ratty and industrial to think about that, especially in the modern day where we can do like much like nicer looking things with fences. But okay, I'm probably not going to do it with barbed wire. Where are my normal chain link fences? Where'd they go? Oh, here's one. Oh, and it's rusty too. Nice. As compared to the high school, the middle school was separate in an old private school called Jeff Davis Academy. It wasn't called that when I went there, though. I'm not going to ask. I get where you're going with this. Alright, let's put this in here. And then And then there. And where are we going to have the front entrance? Maybe next. Maybe here where there's not much going on. Like, away from the climbing wall. And honestly, I could fence this entire thing in and nobody would care. Like, no one would care. Well, who is even going to look at this, right? Look how far away we are from the railroad tracks. And we're deep in it. We're deep in the scenery. Anyway. Okay. So, last time, we spent the last, hour of the episode, probably longer, messing with, you know what we need down here? We need another church. I need to put another church down here. We spent the last hour or so messing with that timetable rule. Now, I don't necessarily feel the need to go back into the testing save, but now's our chance to start bringing that into the real world. Okay, hang on. Let me grab the search filter. Let's find another church. It was fine when I was there. Originally named after Jefferson Davis. Only thing I didn't like about it was built in the 50s and was really drafty in the winter. Yeah, I get that. Ooh, that's a really nice church. This is like a small town kind of church. It's honestly really cute. Let's see. We've also got like this. It's like old school, or not old school, but like, no steeple kind of church. Actually, do you have a Grange Hall? No. Damn. Oh, maybe. Let me see if there's one other download station. I want to know. Manage content. Check out the old Victorian church. I will in just a second. Download station. Oh, shoot. There are... Oh, wait. No, those aren't Granges. Those are... something in a different language that also means that is Grange, but is not Grange. Damn. Grange 01. Yeah, no, these are barns, is what they are. Bummer. I also have LaGrange, Kentucky route and session. Have I ever changed a horn sound on a locomotive in 2022? No, I don't think I've ever changed a horn sound at all. Old Victorian church. This one, I think I've used this one? No, this is smaller than the one I was thinking of. This is a pretty church. I was thinking this was, well, there's another church. I thought I had another one over here. I thought this was a different one. I don't know which one. Well, I only have so many of them. Also, Philadelphia. We gotta use that somewhere, but not here. Not in this exact location. This is also a really cute one. I'm kind of torn between this one and this one. Where's the mega churches of Tolbrand? Actually, hold on. What is the biggest church I have? What is this? Look at this. Yeah. I mean, that's not actually that big. That's not really a mega church, I don't think. It's just sort of not a normal-sized church. Holy castle. How big you want your tower? This is like 70% tower. Oh my god. Oh, this is cute. Why is it in the ground? Oh, wow. Holy cow. That's another one for downtown. This is one that could fit in quite nicely. Kind of understated. Goes with this quite well. Yeah, I think I'll use this one. I like this one a lot. So let's get rid of these. I'll put you right on the main road here. So at one point in time, this would have been a fairly major road. Now it just feeds into this. Because once upon a time, this would have been the road that comes from here. Just like this would have also gone somewhere. But Who's to say where at this point? Oh wait, no. Where's the one that? Yeah, no, that was this road, because this was like the original crossroads. It's been so long since I built this, it feels weird looking at it. Like, I'm used to seeing the weird colored paints and like the incomplete stuff, and now a lot of this area is done. A lot of this area is done. Um, we can also work on this. I know I was gonna have a bunch of this be just like woods. Um, but I also might have this be an actual farm still. Uh, and then have the one over here, like right on the edge of the thing, be woods. Because this would have been divvied into three, right? Oh, right, and we have this one, which is all woods. This one, which is still farm. This one, which maybe we'll make it half and half. Tree farm's a good shout. I'm not sure I want to put it here, but we should have a tree farm. That's maybe a good idea. Pine tree farm. Yeah, it would definitely stand out from what we have. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. We'll do a tree farm somewhere. Maybe we'll do a tree farm. Maybe on this side of the river. Maybe a little bit more towards the outskirts of town. But this would have been a farm. I'm not sure how, like, the logistics of converting such a thing from a like a like a wheat farm to a tree farm. I would imagine the soil is not incompatible, but you'd have to do something to it. I don't know the first thing about it. I don't want to make assumptions necessarily. It just strikes me that life is always more complicated than it feels like it should be. Okay. What if? Oh, you know what? What if I angled this towards this road? That's some. That's some. You know. That's some environmental storytelling, maybe. Okay, let's grab like a. Yeah, let's grab this. Maybe I kind of wish I had a wider one, but. Yeah, and let's do this. Like it's pointing right at this road. And then the engineers said you can't do that. You got to tie into the main road somewhere other than at the intersection because people are getting confused or something. Um, and then they did this. And we can probably fix this. Oh, shoot. Probably fix this. Put that there. Put that there. And then... I need the one with the one side. I was going to say something about New England being mostly farm with forest on it. But that's more cattle grazing farm rather than wheat farm. Yeah, I mean, New England was a lot of farming out of necessity, and yeah, a lot of the land is not great for crop farming. I guess you could say crop farming, right? Um, Partly because there are just so many damn rocks. You know, having been underneath like a mile of ice, just a few thousand years ago, um, the you know the glaciers, they left an awful lot of boulders behind, and that makes farming difficult when you've got to move all of them. All those elegant stone walls that you see all around New England, those are because farmers needed something to do with all the rocks. There was absolutely no shortage of just rocks, of rock and stone, brother. Uh, and that's a nice little piece of history. Um, okay, let's do this. Let's bring this up to here, and just have like a little gravel thing in front. I got a rock. Remember that motherboard I bought for a really good deal? The seller removed all their products from Amazon and I got a refund. However, the package was shipped before then, so I got it for free? Well, at least you got your package? That's weird and suspicious. That's suspicious. Um, like, listen, I love free as much as the next guy, but I just get a little bit hesitant when I get something when I get something for free at the same time all of like at the same time the person who sold it to me apparently vanishes from the face of the earth. Speaking of which, apparently the Seagate store is open again, so I might give another crack at buying hard drives. Third time's the charm, right? Um, I need to check on if that coupon code they gave me is any good. Uh, so you know, we'll see. Okay, let's do this and the what store? Seagate. Seagate is a like a computer parts manufacturer, specifically storage. Um, they had an incident with their storefront that caused them to cancel my order when I made the order uh, a few months ago now, when my computer really started having issues. The computer seems to have recovered, but I know that it's only a matter of time before hard drives go. And I am someone who's kind of paranoid about losing stuff, although not to the point where I actually have like normal backups. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have to make this because if your firm is telling in this direction, um, yeah, having this be like a triangularly shaped field is not gonna help anybody. So uh, I'm just gonna put like a strip of dirt here, and I'm gonna try not to. I should have used a ruler for this to make a straight line. Um, I'll start it back here so that we can try to line it up with that fence line. And we'll go to here. Seagate, yeah, another Titanic's new buddy. Oh god, I saw a meme about that earlier, and someone was like, "Oh, I love watching stuff get crushed," and the other person was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, how about check this out?" and played like a couple of hydraulic press channel videos and then a simulation of the Ocean Gate submarine. Uh, Yikes. Uh, okay. Uh, we're gonna do grass up to we're gonna do a bunch of grass, but this back area here is gonna be like barns and stuff. Uh, Barns and silos because they're probably gonna be able to exit right onto the highway. How about that? Um, so how about like a warehouse and a barn and a silo? Uh, I need oh, not Spline. I need yeah, I need an Ace Hardware. Um, I need something like actually straightforward. Yeah, like that. Oh wait, no, this has if this didn't have this attached, that would be great. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I'm talking about. These guys, you can store trackers in them. Um, nice voice crack, idiot. Uh, okay. I know you usually don't like the weird stuff. It'd be really funny to put a missile silo. No, that's actually well. We're gonna do a military base. We're gonna do some military installations out that way, out that way. Um, so uh, I don't know if we have any missile silos. Well, that's kind of cool. Um, uh, I mean, we could probably fudge something and say it's a missile silo. Um, I'm sure someone has made missile launch site or something. Hellfire missile, crate of missiles, missile car, missile cannon product, uh, weapon missile, missile loading, Tomcat with missiles, Tomcat without missiles. Uh, these are just all called missile trolley high explosive, missile trolley nuclear, uh, catamaran missile destroyer. Uh, there are a lot of missile products. There are a lot of missile products. Oh, because okay, I understand. I understand. Um, why there are so many missile products because you can equip them to planes. You can have planes, drivable aircraft in the game, and then load missiles onto them and they'll appear, you know. That's brilliant actually. Uh, rocket launching pad? No, this is like NASA stuff. I mean, that's kind of cool. That's true. We could have some. I mean, we might not be able to have like the asset for the Great Eastern. Yeah, I don't know if I need that, but uh, if it's on the download station, I have Chicago Great Western. uh, no, but well, we could go. We could have the timeline where the Great Eastern was a museum ship, and you know, uh, and it's still just vibing. Maybe I'll have it encased in concrete like that one Japanese uh, cruiser, right? I think it's a cruiser. Um, Great Eastern is all a deal. I'll have to look into that later. When I get to the seaport stuff, I'll put it in Meridian for you. Um, a Mikasa, yes, thank you. Um, okay. Let's do that. And then, all right, yeah, I need some barns. I need some because these guys are still farming, so it's got to be relatively modern, um, or at least relatively well maintained. Yeah, let's do this. This is like farmers market kind of barn. Look at that. People can pull in, park. They can pet the cow. They can take a hay ride. Um, let's find some silos. I want like a silo with a loader. I want like an silo, you know? I don't need anything too crazy. But I kind of want one that has a visible loader so that it's obvious where the stuff is going. Um, co-op barn. Well, this is actually kind of cool looking. It's definitely overkill, but it's cool looking. What if we just do grain loader? Grain Corp, grain unloader. Hatchet man, feed and supply. Yeah, that's for trains though. I'm not trying to get a I'm not trying to snake a, you know. This is not coming over here. This is going to be for trucks. How about I lower these into the ground like that? And now they look a little bit less absurd. Okay. Um, And I said we were going to go dick around with the timetable and stuff, but I think we're going to keep doing this for the minute. I wish that rule allowed me to set a potential, like, set of consists instead of just the one. Um, hmm. Oh, man. And then, you know what, let's put this over here. Let's fill this area in like this. Dirt and leaves. And then let's put this over here. And that, connect that up, connect this up. Fill this in. Okay. Oh, and this actually came out like to the dead center of this, which was not my intention, but it works pretty well. Okay. What's next with this? Take another sip of thinking cola. Do I want to scoot these back just a little bit so that they're not totally overbearing on this bridge? Hello, guy. Remember the underground route idea? What if underground route but stalker-inspired Soviet bunker railway route? You say that would be fun. You know what else would be really fun? The the 2-foot railways in the Chicago tunnels would be a really neat thing to model. Instead of, instead of a subway, right? Instead of we were talking about Metro earlier, guy. Believe it or not. Um, that's sort of what this is coming back to. Um, the London Mail Railway. There's another one. Any of these that are like not a metro, right? Not with the tight headways and 10-minute service intervals and 2 tracks, 4 tracks. No, something with like pickups and setouts, but you happen to be underground. It it's a very different style. Chicago did have 2-foot. Chicago had freight tunnels. Uh, I believe it was 2 foot. It might have been 18-inch. No, it was 2 foot. The Chicago Tunnel Company, and they had these electric, electric engines um, that ran on what you could probably call an overhead third rail, um, and it's really fascinating. The only reason I know about it, and this is kind of funny, the only reason I know about it is there was a documentary on, I think, the History Channel of um, of an incident where they were trying to build a bridge, and I'm sure they used those tunnels to bootleg. I would not be surprised at all. Um, they were trying to build a bridge, and they drilled pilings into the freight tunnel after they had been shut down. So like people's basements started flooding, and they had no idea why, and it's because they were all still connected to the tunnel system. Um, Apparently, the Chicago freight tunnels inspired the London postal system tunnels, which is kind of an interesting turnabout there. Um, uh, Bootlegging those tunnels. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Um, Oop, I don't want goats clipping point. No, it's probably too many goats for this pen. The lone goat. Um, the river of slime in Ghostbusters 2. Yes, in the beach pneumatic tunnels. Um, a little while ago, I stumbled across basically what are the most recent images of the beach pneumatic, what's left of it, which is to say, not much. There's not a completed tunnel that remains. There's not anything that you can really make out, but just like parts of the masonry that are now incorporated into other underground sections of things, where someone points it out and they say this is from the beach pneumatic, and it's like, I can see now that you've pointed it out that is from a different era than the construction around it. I wonder if I could find it. I wonder if I could find those photos again, because they were in a post somewhere. It might have been on Reddit. It might have been on somebody's blog. Um, uh, uh, The city was largely aware of the nature of the tunneling, and the first 16 miles of tunnels were excavated somewhat covertly, working from the basement of a saloon and carting away the spoil. That's alright, like, even if they hadn't bootlegged in this tunnel, even if they were completely innocent of bootlegging in these tunnels for as long as they operated, that does not set a good precedent. Building the tunnels in secret, not a good look, guys. Yeah, classic early 1900s stuff. Yeah, no, it's uh, we're well past the era of the U.S. government is paying people to build railroads. Now it is, you must build them in secret. Uh, this is all right. I'm gonna tangent for a second to Century of Steam and something that I've talked about before, which is that the one thing that, like, my most pipe dream of a whatchamacallit, my most pipe dream of an option at this point, of like stuff to add to the game, because we got boiler explosions. Everyone knows that I wanted that. We're gonna get like signal stuff, interlocking stuff, and I'm not sure exactly what form that will take in the end, but it's gonna be something for me to play with, and I'm excited for it. Uh, the next thing down on my list is a very simple sentence: make me do something with the dirt. And like, the Chicago Tunnel Company was out here smuggling away cartloads of dirt to God knows where. Where did they put it? Where did they put the dirt? Were they like just going and covertly dumping it in the river? Would I be surprised? Uh, were they dumping it from the street onto unsuspecting boats, like a certain incident? Yeah, managing the tailings, like, I don't necessarily want to have to haul away cart after cart of dirt, or bring in cart after cart of dirt to build an embankment. But if track is cheaper, if you are using like a dirt budget, you know, like say you start with a dirt budget of, I'm gonna throw out a random number, 1,000 cubic yards. Um, uh, yeah, certain incident. Don't worry about it. The name is honestly escaping me. Otherwise, I would have been more specific. Hold on. Chicago. Um, the Dave Matthews bus incident. There's another Wikipedia article that's fun to read. Uh, the Dave Matthews tour bus stopped on a bridge to empty its sewage tank, and did so onto an unsuspecting boat beneath the bridge. Um, anyway, uh, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, no, sorry. Dirt budget, right? So you start out with, I believe it was a tour boat, yeah. Say you start out with 1,000 cubic feet or cubic yards of dirt, and you can use that to build fill. And when you run out, the cost to build fill goes up, because now you have to bring in dirt from somewhere else. Uh, and then if you overflow your budget, like you can only fit 2 to 5, let's say like 5,000 cubic yards of dirt. Uh, Once you overflow that budget, I don't like this. I'm doing the wrong thing. Get rid of that. Once you overflow that budget, it costs more to make cuts because now you have to send that dirt off to somewhere. So you're encouraged to cut and fill in reasonably even amounts, uh, so that you are budgeting your dirt. Um, you're encouraged to do civil engineering good. Otherwise, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. That's what I'm getting at. Also, I'm realizing I wanted to make a second entrance in here for trucks, and I completely neglected to do that and filled it with grass. Oops. Let's do that. It would be cool. I appreciate a game that makes you think. I appreciate a game where you're rewarded for thinking. Not necessarily something where you have to or you're going to fail, because you know there's certainly some appeal to a game where I can just sit down after a long day and bang out a few rounds or a few quests or a few, milestones without having to all right, where was I? All right, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it? I've been having this problem with Civ 5 lately. I've been playing a lot of Civ 5. Workers and Resources probably does that because Workers and Resources is a goated game that makes you pay attention to everything under the sun. So no GWR sunning cutting. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. GWR sunning cutting. The original Great Western is on the original Great Western Railway. Holy cow! Okay, yeah. That's a lot of cutting. Yeah. I would say, yeah, you can. I mean, you can do it. It's just going to cost you an arm and a leg. And see, back in my day, we'd call that a TJ tunnel. Real OGs remember. Okay. All right. So I need to pick out what I'm going to do for thing here. And also, I really like how this has turned out. I like how it feels like this track should just continue into the trees. Oh, and I was doing this. Can I get some stacks of lumber? Lumberyard concrete ground spline. Oh my god! Okay, no. Building lumber mill, lumber yard. Carson and Tahoe lumber and fluming office. I'm gonna put that over there because that is too cute to not put. Yeah, no, I'm not. These guys are not gonna fit. They're all too big. But the thing is, if I'm gonna have to build it manually, aren't I? I need just like the JR lumber dock pieces. Lumber shed. Okay, yeah, okay. We're getting somewhere. Could you do me the Q-wood for that ground spline to be perfect for covering up the tunnel on my soon-to-be-completed bunker route? Hold on. It's going to show up in the corner of the screen. You can jot it down. Lumberyard concrete ground spline and lumberyard concrete ground spline 2. Let me see if I can get the Q-wood thing to appear well. Grab your snipping tool. These are Q-wood 359354, 359354, colon, 105011 and 105014. So now, if you need them, you can roll back on the stream anytime and grab them. Okay, lumber stack. Oh, Okay, it actually fits underneath the thing. Um, lumber stacked. Oh wait, I should be doing this in Surveyor too. Watch this. Ooh, excuse me. Unlimited power. Let's straighten this out. Let's straighten this out. I noticed the high point of today's stream, like in terms of viewership, was when I was playing Tetris. I don't know what that says about route building, but... What? I didn't even play Not Tetris. I played Sand Tetris. Gloria sounds very excited by the fact that I played Sand Tetris. One of these things is not like the others. Okay. Let's just put some lumber stacks over here as well. Like we could spend 25 minutes placing lumber stacks and organizing them and straightening them out and making them, perfectly parallel and stuff like that. Um, Real Pearl energy. But I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm probably just going to throw down another one of these sheds. I don't know what the difference is between the one and the other one, but... Okay. Okay. Love me a good Soviet bunker route. I keep looking at you saying Soviet bunker route, and it's like... It's tickling me. Okay. And then I'll also put some grass right there. This is definitely not the nicest looking I've ever made some grass, but... One second. Hey, baby! There's leftover Dominoes in the fridge if you're hungry. Welcome. I wasn't sure what they were going to do for food. Okay. This is something. I'm not really in love with the way this turns out. With the way this turned out. Just the way that the gravel interacts with everything. But you win some, you lose some. Excited to be one step. I mean, I'm trying, man. Every day gets a little closer. Every week we're here, we're doing stuff, we're making progress, and it might not be the most impactful progress in the world, but we're doing stuff. And this route someday, I hope, may be the complete package. It'll be everything you can ever want out of a Trainz route. And until then, I'm just hoping that I will reach a point where I can build up sort of the eye portals and things like that, and use the route. I can play around on it more than more than I can play around in it more than just sort of looking at it and occasionally making a copy of the session and throwing the train down. Okay, let's find a good hedge. How about you? You look like a good hedge. Okay. Let's actually bring the hedge down this way too. I, in to an extent, I wouldn't use the word dreading. I wouldn't want to use the word dreading, although that's kind of a fair assessment. It is daunting to think about building Gilson City, especially, you know, especially with the understanding that like all this stuff here has taken me as long as it has, and yes, I've learned techniques and I've learned, you know, ways to ways to save time. I've learned about certain assets. I, I'm guessing less and less and less. Like, we built this block, and I know it's a small block, but we built this block in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier. If I had kept up that pace, I could have done this whole thing this episode, and that would have been pretty significant. Um, Certainly nothing to scoff at. But like, I I'm shifting around because I'm trying to keep myself entertained. I know I can't keep a certain pace. I know I'm going to get distracted with comments and questions, and just sort of wherever my mind takes me. Um, uh, but okay, hold on. Let's rotate this so that it's the right direction. Nope, that's not helpful. Yeah, there we go. Um, Wherever my mind takes me, and the thing about this, the thing about this railroad, the thing about this project, at the end of the day, is that I have no delusions of completing it. I know that it's much more likely that I have to give up on this, either because life gets in the way, either because something happens to me, or something happens to the computer. And something happening to me might not be bad. It might be like having 4 kids or something, and I, I suddenly am no longer in the position to do anything like what I do right now. I mean, if if tomorrow I were to have, a million subscribers, and I could pay my bills like that, then then yeah, maybe I'd be able to keep doing this. But there's nothing about my YouTube channel that makes it that valuable. Number one, and number two, it would still be hard for me to like decide to step away from my civil engineering career, the thing I went to college for, and decide to do this instead. Would I? If it guaranteed me the same standard of living, sure. But the internet is fickle. Uh, you can be making good money one year, and the next policies change, and payouts change, and advertisers change, and the whole paradigm changes, and you have to fight to adapt and keep up. And I'm someone who doesn't really feel like doing that part of the rise and grind. I'll go to my boring 9 to 5 instead. I will I will go to my cubicle, or go to my work desk on the porch, and throw some wood in the stove, and you know do CAD for 8 hours, and then come here and do this for 3. Uh, I am I am happy enough with that life, and if that means at the end of the day that those 40 hours a week that I could be dedicating to building Tollbrand, if I were to build myself into a brand, and selling trading cards, and making shows and things like that. Oh, I mean, sure. You know, I could do that instead, but that's not what I came here for. It's not what I went to school for. I'm doing this for kicks. I know that it's very likely that something is going to get in the way of this. This is going to be a lower priority than other things. There have been periods of months where I've hardly gotten anything done because there was too much going on in the outside world for me. Um, whether that was, you know, whether that was sort of negative drama or positive life changes, you know, that's up to the viewer to interpret from themselves. But the thing is, this can fall by the wayside. And also, technology is fickle, just like the whims of living off of a YouTube personality's salary. Uh, Something might happen and I lose the route. And I don't think that's out of the question. And yeah, I have CDP backups, but if I lose, you know, if I lose weeks of work, then, whatever, I'll carry on. I'll probably be sad, but, I'll be okay. If I lose months or years of work, it's going to be a lot tougher to keep going. And I don't I don't really think that that is a controversial sentiment. Um, Ultimately, and I know I've said this before, but Tolbrand is something to let me keep playing Trainz and building routes because I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy this. I enjoy world building. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy, you know, doing, thinking through the sort of civil engineering problems that come with making a world from scratch. It isn't necessarily about reaching any sort of end goal. And I know that might seem antithetical if I am going to sort of hang up the cape if I lose the route. I don't really think that I would. I would find something else to do in Trainz. But uh, it's a forever project. It's a forever project. Uh, it is more than a mega project. It is something without end. Oh wow, that's cool. Ammunition bunkers. And then I've got I typed in bunker and I've got a lot of different things. I've got ammunition bunkers, which that makes sense. That's kind of cool. I've got um, bunker nuclear and bunker spacer concrete. I've got like bunkers of coal bunkers. Um, I've got golf bunkers, as in sand traps. Um, I've got whatever the hell that is. Beck Bekolungsbunker. A lot of bunkers. I could build an ammunition depot pretty easily, though. Um, but yeah, this is a forever project, and I'm happy with that. I'm not. I'm not dreading reaching any particular part of it because I'm not worried about reaching the end. Um, every time the scenery changes, and I get to do something new, the most important part is that I get to do something new. We're going to be going, you know, next time we build, next time we advance forward, it's probably going to be connecting this to this. It will undoubtedly be the single largest piece, and I might lay it out and then break it down. Um, so, you know, excuse me. Uh, I might lay it out and then break it down into chunks that are more bite size. Now, doing anything takes less time than doing a city. Doing a city is a lot of fiddly. It's a lot of thinking and it's a lot of repetition. There's equal parts of both, and they're both at the highest orders of tedium. So I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I am looking forward to it because it's something new. I've never really built a big city. This right here, like, yeah, Olive was a decent size, but this right here is hands down the largest suburban slash urbanized area that I've ever made. And this what we're looking at here is half of it to a third. It's this is going to be a lot of town, and I, I haven't even sat down and wrapped my head around it. And that's okay, because it's not about figuring out all that we need to do. It's about doing it. It's about sitting down and laying out block after block of house after house. And at the end of the day, the important product of that is when you trundle down this track in third person and you look out this way and you see rows and rows of houses and the backdrop of the commercial center, with a couple of tall buildings behind the row of factories and all of the suburbs, and you go, wow, this is like a real world. That's the feeling that I want to make sure that I deliver. That's what I'm aiming at. And that's important, you know? Like I've said, there were two things that I wanted to do when I started Trollburn. One was to make a fully automated route. Trainz and 3Vs beat me to the punch on that one. Two was to make a realistic route, where the sizes and the scopes are realistic. The towns are an appropriate distance apart. The towns are the right size. There's enough housing for the industry. I want to be playing SimCity inside of Trainz. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm zoning out all my residential. I'm figuring out where all that space belongs. And then, slowly, I'm filling it. And once it's full, we'll be able to look out over this city and see just how much city there is. In fact, I'm gonna clear out a whole bunch of... You know what? No, hold on. I want to clear out a whole bunch of these rulers, because I want to do something before I go over to staging and spend some time over there. Because I can remeasure this stuff anytime I want. What else have we got in terms of rulers? You over here. I don't even know why I needed a ruler there. Or there. Goodness me. Here's one. And there's more. I'm honestly very sloppy with my rulers. I leave them around. I leave them all over the place. I need to put my tools back in the box where they came from. The thing is, the numbers render in front of almost everything. So I need to get rid of all my rulers in order to, like, look at a wide shot sort of appreciation of everything. We've got so many of them. Look at them all. It's the crazy thing is, when we were building stuff, I didn't even, like, they didn't even register to me. They're just there in the background. In the foreground, but they're in the background of my mind. I'm not thinking about the fact that there are 16 rulers in the distance that are all layered on top of one another. Well, the fact that we have a giant blue pushpan is something else too. But if I go to here, right? If I go to here, so I just want to get a feel for this. Also, we're still missing a couple. We still left a couple behind. Over here. I don't even remember what those rulers were for anymore. We're going to have to measure that again anyway. And then there's one more right here. Okay, is that all of them in the immediate vicinity? There are a bunch over there, but we actually kind of still need those. What I want to go is I want to go over here behind the pushpin blue, behind the rail yard. I want to look this way. And then what I want to do is I want to go into settings. And I want to turn up the view distance. And it was already up, not high, but, you know, reasonably high. And if I lower the camera a little bit, and we can still see the horizon in the distance, but if we zoom out, then we can see just how much town we have, and how much town we have to go. We can't even see down there. I feel like that should be loading, but I guess the game just doesn't want to show us. It's too far away, I guess. Level of details, like, because we can see out to here, and if we come over here, There's still, there's still a little bit more stuff behind it. And when we get this area done, that's going to be really something because, hey Mew, because we're going to be able to look at it from here, from the old commercial district. We're going to be able to look down what used to be Main Street, which probably still is, but is separated now by this little chicane because of the railroad. We're going to be able to look down. We're going to be able to look over all of the buildings and all the trees, and we're going to be able to see the high rises in the distance and the grain elevators. Absolutely. Uh, yeah, I'm happy about this. Okay, so let's run over to staging. We've got 20 minutes left or so, and then I want to spend time with my wife. Uh, I'm still not entirely sure what to do with all these yard tracks. Like, genuinely, I'm not sure. Um, I think. Well. Before I say anything, let me make clear what last episode taught us, which is that we do not need we do not need all of this preamble. All right? We don't need all this preamble. We don't need all of this stuff tucking together and tying together and whatever. We can just bring these tracks around here, and have a set of not iPortals, but have a set of portals that are releasing trains. Hi, Venkman. Just automatically. Now, I don't know how we're going to fit all this other stuff, like this, like all of the loaders, all of the car spawners, but at some point we're going to just sort of like line them up next to one another. We also have this in the way of us doing staging. I want to see if I can just grab this and move this. So let's go into Surveyor 2.0. This might not work. It might get really mad at me, and in fact, maybe I should save before I attempt what I'm about to attempt. So let's do that. No, he didn't scream. He just sort of wandered on through. Oh, man. Oh, Fred's outside. Fred the stray cat. And Lafayette's barking at him. Okay. So, if I were to, just grab all this, right? I don't even know what all I'm grabbing. I don't know what half that stuff over there is. Oh, that's just a nameplate. And then click on this. And then can I just? Oh, I can. Oh, the game is not happy. Oh, the game is so unhappy. Oh my God. Holy crap. Look at it. Look at him go. He yawned big because he's skeegee. I'm just gonna put these down over here. Oh man. Oh, my computer's so mad. Alright, I've released the click. Oh no. Oh no, what has happened? Oh no, these cars aren't on the track. Uh-oh. Hmm. What do I do? I need to fix this. I need to fix this. Um. Oops. No, I'm just moving them around like assets. No, I want them to be on the track, please. Oh no. It's getting worse. Alright, well, this was a huge mistake. I have an idea. I have a better idea. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. A script failure on an undo? Alright, hold on. Control X. Alakazam. Abracadabra! And then Control V. All of the trains are gone. Damn it. Wait, can I... hold on. It didn't copy the... It didn't copy the stuff that was on the tracks. Is there an easier way to do this? No! I hit delete. Alright, well, you know what? Maybe we're just gonna have to deal with this. Hey, Lafayette. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to Surveyor Classic. Drag 10 cars per session. I mean, I was just gonna stick them all together and grab them all. Like, just grab a consist at a time. But, I don't know, I don't think it's not worth the effort. I'm just gonna delete some of these extra tracks because I don't need them anymore. And I'm gonna delete this because I don't actually remember why I put that there. And I'm going to grab this ground height, which is 0. That works. I'm going to just leave that stuff in like a valley. And the reason being is I only need 6 timetable portals. And I'm gonna make 8 in total, I guess. But I only need 6 timetable portals. I need 2 for the VMR, and I need I need 2 for the VMR, and I need 4 for the Gilson Eastern. Alright, hang on. It'd be kind of funny if, in order to get around the trolleys not working right, I made the trolley barn a portal and set it to schedules. Honestly, I can delete all those cars too. Like, that's the thing. I don't actually need them to be there. I just kind of want them to be there. I can absolutely delete them and there will be no consequences to me. I have them all on a pick list. I don't know why I'm fretting so much. Okay. Alright, we're gonna jump back into thing. Surveyor 2.0. This is like my, what, 4th iteration of staging? We've been at this a while. How come it... Oh, because it's not... Because I can't just copy it, because it's special. Can I click on that? Oh, I have to click on that. I can't click on the track. Oh, because the track is a separate thing. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well... Let's grab 2. What's up, Signal Man? I am on my 4th iteration of staging. I'm going to lose my marbles. But it's okay. We almost have this figured out, maybe. Okay. Okay. And this is also lower than it needs to be. I should probably raise this up to be the height of these tracks here. Although maybe having it underneath would allow me to duck these tracks underneath. Alright. I can't get too distracted right now. I'm at a point where I'm going to have to delete these tracks now. I'm at a point where I need to just sort of buckle down and build the thing I need to build. Because let's do it in Surveyor Classic for now. I'm gonna work at Cast sometime next month. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that's working out for you. Maintenance on the trucks at the fire hall like normal. I've been. I'm here. That's good. I have not been getting as much work done on Tolbrand as I would have liked. I had to take a couple of weeks off for this and that, but ultimately, we're here now, and that's what counts. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do. Give me this. Give me my favorite one-track wood. I think I will throw in an interlocking at some point, just in case something is going wrong. But Surveyor 2.0. Scoot that over to there, and then what I actually want to do is I want to extend this out in a straight line past these tracks here, probably to about there. Although I don't think these tracks right here are going to stick around. But I want to get them to the point where I can make a right angle turn from this straight section onto here without compromising what I've already got. So, because we've got this relatively elegant turn out of staging, and in fact, I'm just going to delete this. Oh no, you know what? Let's keep those because I can use them as copy basis in the future. We learned people don't know how to back the utility trailer up. Fixed it last Tuesday. 5 minutes later, they take it out. It comes back damaged again. Fixed it again. Next night, it was damaged again. Oh my god. That utility trailer has seen some things. Okay. So I'm going to grab this. Actually, what I want to do is I want to grab this spline height right there, which is... Oh, you know what? It's got to be 0. That's right. And I want to apply... Oh, sorry. Vertex height. And I want to apply that vertex height to this. Now, at some point, we're actually going to have to change that. Because the vertex height... Like, because we're going to have to raise that section of track a little bit. The guy had been ordered by my captain and lieutenant not to move the truck. She's parked outside. Awesome. Awesome. I love someone who can follow instructions. Guy who didn't say anything about it. Oh, no, and that's... when you screw something up, and this is the PSA to everyone who will ever hear this. When you screw something up, just own up to it. It's much less annoying for the people that have to fix it to know that they have to fix it instead of finding out the hard way. You know, yeah, it can be embarrassing to be like, hey, I broke the thing. But when you're the one who broke the thing, if you're not the one who has to fix the thing, inform the people who have to fix the thing. Because people probably need that thing fixed. Alright. Okay, this is also a really awful spiral curve. Oh, right, and because Trainz, they always want you to have a spline point in the middle because of the way that the curve geometry works. Well, let's see if I can get around that at all. I mean, that doesn't look too terrible. See, what I was considering doing was making a much larger, like, gradual loop around. Not allowed to drive any of the trucks ever again. There's a lot of swearing as you... Oh, but the garlic knots, though. Okay. Can I pull these like this way? I mean, I don't really want to mess with this. Doing anything with a 4-track mainline is really kind of annoying, just because of how much space it takes up. This yard has got to go away. What height is this yard at? Is this at 1 or is this... Because, like, the curve that's got to come off of this, it's got to be, like, you know, tracks that way. Bear with me here. I'm just trying to find a way to make this look half decent. That's my main priority right now. Because I could just throw everything together and it would be fine. Like, there would be no problem with it. Trainz derailments on curves, that it isn't really a thing. I'm just trying to get this to all work and look half decent. So, in fact, I think I'm going to keep this flat, like I said, until after here. Let's actually, yeah. Let's do it right here. Straighten this out. Apply the 0 height to that, which I guess that period counts as 0. That wasn't my intention. Straight. Oh, what? Hold on. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Because this is like that. Because the way the splines work, this is not flat. Oh, my nudge. Definitely have a shader run it for reasons. I mean, if I was building this as part of a regular stretch of railroad, right? If I was building this as part of a regular stretch of railroad, well, things would be different in a couple of ways. And yeah, I would probably need a shay. This is going to be outrageously steep. And the reason for that is because this is just a climb out of staging. It's got to go underneath some other stuff. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So let's slide everything we've got over. This should still not be doing this. What's going on with you? You should be at 0.01 or whatever. And you should be at 0.01. Oh, why was it not? I don't actually know exactly what's going on with these. It doesn't really matter because we're gonna put the ground underneath them. Surveyor 2.0, because what I want to do is I want to grab this piece of track and this piece of track and this piece of track and this piece of track. And I want to just scooch this to the right, slide to the left. Come on. There, and then again. And then again. And these things aren't going to be connected, but we can connect them. There we go. Now we have a 4-track mainline, sort of. We're going to need to put the curves in. Hopefully nothing gets weird when I do this. Keep Beach City weird. Okay. Alright. 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 Separate splines. How about connecting it to that one? How about a rubber biscuit? Oh, come on! Alright. Back to Surveyor Classic, because I can do this and that. You go there. Oh, okay. You go there. What? What? Why? Like, Keith, come on. What do you? What? Sometimes the simplest things in this game, the simplest gosh darn things. All right, give me the chain one track wood. Give me that. And so I can only do this for 3 hours because if it's any longer, I'll rip my hair out. Okay, we have our connections to 4 of the portals. We're gonna need to do that for these 2, and then we're gonna use two more of these scheduled portals to bring into a yard that is going to be able to. You're going to be able to back cars into about a gazillion of these things. And for those who don't remember what these are, these will generate empty and loaded cars if you program them correctly. That's going to be a humongous pain in the neck, because if I look at our industry's imbalance sheet, we already have, just for olive alone, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 commodities. Not all of those we will necessarily need one of these car generators for. But most of them we're going to want them. And they're going to take a lot of programming apiece. So with that, cheers. I bid you all adieu. I'll see you next week with any luck. This is the Admiral.